Okay. One subscriber wants to hear about John Anglin, and others have asked before, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. John and Clarence, they were always standing off in the distance whenever I would talk to Frank in Mexico City. You know, he kept it between us and he had them there for backup. You could tell he was always doing different things to send signals to them so that if he needed help, they could run to his rescue, because he was really a big sissy. Now, John didn't speak to me that many times. He would keep quiet, and so would Clarence. But one time, he smoked. I told you about when he spoke to me when I was about 5 years old. He put a knife to my throat, told me we're going to cut you in little effing pieces. And then the next time I can remember talking to him was in Mexico City when I was like 17, 16, something like that. Went by their place, and Frank was sitting out front working a crossword puzzle on a table in the shade of a little tree. And John was a few steps off, and I saw Frank, and I said, "Hey, how's it going, man?" I think I called him DB Cooper or something. I don't know, and he freaked. He looked over there. John come running over, and he goes, hey, he doesn't like being bothered when he's doing crossword puzzles. And I was a real smarty britches. I was like in the mood that day, so I told him, so what? It ain't nothing but a, what kind of a crossword puzzle, and only idiots work those things. And they were just looking at each other like, oh, they didn't know what to do. They wanted to kill me right there. And finally I told him, I said, John said, he's working on the system that beats the system. Now that's a line that D.B. Cooper printed in one of his letters that he sent to the press, because Frank Morris was D.B. Cooper, along with the Zodiac Killer and everything else that nutcase did. But he told me there in person, he's working on the system that beats the system. And I go, what are you talking about? He goes, well, it works. Believe me, it works. Well, yeah, I guess it did, because they pulled it off all their lives and never got caught, and killed a lot of people, and tortured and killed a lot of people. It's really sad. But anyway, other than that, I can't ever remember him talking to me, but he was always the guy who, he was the muscle guy. He would wrestle these victims down, and Clarence would come and help him, and Frank would stand back, and then Frank would get involved in torturing them and maybe killing them or shoot them in the face, or who knows what. Whatever he would do, he would try to make sure he was safe, because Frank just, if he scraped his finger, it would mess him all up. He was scared of pain and everything else. And this is, they tell me, true for a lot of serial killers, because they're emotionally messed up from being abused when they were kids and basically tortured and all these other things. And they don't want it to happen again, but yet they're doing it to other people. It's some type of outlet thing. It's, it's complicated, and I don't think anybody really understands it. I probably do better than anybody else, because I've known these guys so many years, but I have to compare it to other things that some people may not agree with me on, so we'll just leave it like that. That's the best I can do for you today on John Anglin. He was always a little bit taller than me. This is an interesting thing about John and Clarence. If you look up on the internet their prison records, John is supposed to be shorter and thinner than Clarence. Clarence is supposed to be taller and heavier. These guys were so smart that whenever they would go to prison together, they would make sure that their descriptions got mixed up and confused, so that they could pull things off, and people, I guess the guards, couldn't figure out, which one was it. And John, after they escaped, would wear these real high-heeled boots with steel toes for kicking people. So that made him taller than Clarence, even though Clarence was supposedly taller. I don't know. Clarence wore tennis shoes because Clarence was the runner in the group. If someone tried to run away, he'd run them down and grab them and hold them until John got there to help him. Now, And weight-wise, Clarence was supposed to weigh more than John, but you wouldn't think so because John was, a couple inches taller than me, but that was mostly in the boots. And I do recall that Clarence was kind of muscular and shorter than me. And I can tell you that these things I'm telling you about these murderers, don't think they sat down and explained all this to me. It has taken me all my life to figure out how this whole thing worked. Once I wrote my book about them, I investigated so many things on the internet, and if you want to know what I know about them, watch my videos. I've got 130 videos or something like that here on YouTube, and they're all about these, most of them are about these guys. And any question you have, it's already answered in the videos, but I still welcome questions and try to answer them. If you don't try to put me on the spot, okay? And try to be good looking and female if you can.